I introduce myself as the realest kid you'll ever meet. But what you're about to see is the realest me I'll ever be. Strong winds make the tree grow deeper roots. Go up and work hard to enjoy the sweeter fruits of your labor. Honor Jesus as your savior, do no wrong towards our neighbor. Always tip your waiter and make sure you're on your best behavior. Just a couple of life's lessons that I've gathered through the years. As I cried in the bed that wasn't mine, I couldn't fight back the tears. Wishing upon a star when now I recognize the prayers. Hoping someone will save me, but it felt like no one cared. It was all a dream, so no big deal. Was a lie I told myself until it was so real, I couldn't deny it anymore. And I was plenty sure everyone at my school knew it, and they got involved in my life that they had nothing to do with. I took the "your mama jokes the hardest," and then one day, this kid called me stupid and said that I was adopted. I lost it, attacked him, strangled his throat. He couldn't fight me off, and I don't mean to gloat, but it took 2 grown men to pry me away. Suspended, detention, and this was in the 3rd grade. Back when I weighed nothing because I refused to eat. We had rice and beans every night, and I would just sit in my seat and starve myself. Told my foster mom I had a big lunch at school, which wasn't true, but that's what you do when you're depressed and confused. I still remember the day that I was taken away. It's like a movie that plays stuck in my brain. It remains. I felt pain at an age too young to understand, but the way I was raised made me who I am. People think they know me, but they haven't got a clue about that child who was lonely, not knowing what to do. That night still haunts me from 8, now 22. Thought I was to blame, and now I have to move to a different family where my mother was locked away to serve her time. I'm living proof that there's no such thing as a victimless crime. I had to meet with a counselor every Tuesday at the same time. He'd ask me how I was. I'd respond with the same line: "I'm fine." I don't want to talk about it. I could see the doubt in his eyes. He knew that I was lying. This jungle is mine. The struggle is real. I wouldn't mutter a feeling. I held my head high towards the ceiling. There was no revealing how I really felt. By myself, started dealing with the cards that I was dealt. I was in a full house of children whose parents made a mistake. We stay awake after lights out and debate who'd be the next to go home. Different kids were always in and out. I barely got to know them. And I would start to feel alone, seeing many come and go. I was there so long, I got a room of my own, and this was my second home. Since they abused me in the first and thought I was a pussy, they only made it worse when I told them not to push me. I approached the edge at a fast rate. It felt great packing my things and moving to a different family, especially when I knew the last one couldn't stand me. I lived life as a troubled youth, chipped a tooth in a fight with an older foster brother, refused to listen to anyone who was not my mother. One day I had enough, it was like no other. I left the boys club early. I told them I was going home. What they didn't know is I was really going home. I guess you could say I ran away to where my mother was staying. I thought she'd be happy to see me. She was shocked when she seen me, and she didn't believe me when I told her I walked 3 miles, in fact, through the heart of the city. For 11 years old, I was courageous and gritty. She immediately called my foster mom so we wouldn't get in trouble. I didn't mean to burst a bubble. She brought me back on the double. I lost visitations with my sisters for over a month. I still had to meet with a counselor every week. He'd take me to lunch and he'd tell me I needed to manage my anger when I got upset. They thought I was a danger to myself and a threat to the other children. Made me out to be the villain in the building. Kept me in the basement, in-house suspension. What they failed to realize, it was just a cry for attention. I wanted to go home. And fortunately, that was soon. My mother was rehabilitated and I was about to move. Back with my family, into my mother's custody, with people who loved me and where I got to sleep comfortably, in a brand new bed that belonged to me. Luckily, it was mine to keep, or so I thought, when suddenly my grandfather passed away, and my days that I thought were bright suddenly turned to gray. It took months for me to realize what else had happened. I was in the 6th grade and I could never imagine my mother relapsing, but it happened, and we knew it was fact when we started finding a baggy hair and pipe there. She said it was powdered aspirin, and my social worker didn't think that was weird. And my mom would start to disappear in the middle of the night. Something wasn't right. I still remember our fight. I was in my room and I ripped out every drawer. I threw my clothes in a suitcase that I had on the floor. Deja vu. This had happened before. As the tears poured, I packed up my stuff. I had enough. I couldn't take the lies anymore. She came in and we swore back and forth. She said, "You want to leave then? There's the door." How could she say that to her son? I looked up at her disgusted. I couldn't believe what she had done. I stood up, I said fine, and I ran towards the door and down the stairs. I didn't look back, but all I could hear was her yelling, "Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." I didn't believe it, nor did I stop running. I looked back as she chased me down the street to see her huffing and puffing. She couldn't keep up. Her lungs were rusted from the drugs and the cigarettes. I ran to the liquor store. How ironic. Go figure that would be my safe haven. That's where I stayed waiting, pacing back and forth, praying it will all change. But it was time for me to come to grips with what was really going on. Instead of holding on and hoping not to return to a foster home, I let my mind roam. It ran miles. I was still a child who see more than a grown man. Turns out I had my own plan. My sister took me in, and she raised me from there on out. Not to go off topic, that's not what the story's about. There was a point where I ignored my mother's existence. There was no difference whether she was sober or not. I knew she would relapse again. I couldn't relive that pain, so I ignored every letter she would send. I was naive and young. I wouldn't let her see her son. I believed addiction won. I wrote her off. Now that was dumb. I know it stung, and I know she cried a ton of tears, but I was the one to pretend that he doesn't care. But now, she's been sober for more than half a dozen years. She tells her story so she could be a mentor to her peers. Now the tears we cry are from laughter. Our family relationship is great. The past is not a factor. It's part of my life, but just another chapter. And since my life is the book, I'm turning the page. Over the years, I'm sorry for the way I behaved. Mom, we're so proud of you. We're truly amazed. I am who I am today because of the way I was raised.